one of the biggest things that actually helps me and that helps you with looking after yourself is knowing what type of self-care you need at any time. Now, this is where the idea of the yin and the yang comes in. It just simply means opposites, and you will hear phrases like the yin and yang of self-compassion if you go and Google self-compassion. But simply what this means is people who are into the yin aspects of self-compassion or self-care, they tend to prefer things like meditation or walking or journaling. People who are into the yang are much more, they want to learn something, they like to exercise, they like something that's upbeat, they are energizing. So you've got relaxing, you've got energizing. Now, a lot of us actually go with both. A lot of us actually like both. But again, very much like my example right at the beginning where we had the puppy and then their feelings weren't validated, I know that it's only a passing comment from people who are always just simply trying to be kind and lovely. So of course I don't want to be nasty to them because it's lovely that they're just looking out for me. But I tend to find whenever I finish a project or finish something big, people almost like an automatic platitude will say to me, "Oh, that's lovely, you can relax now." And when that comes from friends of mine in particular, it grates, and it grates because I just think, that's how little you actually know me. I like being energized. So for me, it's not a case of wanting to relax. I want something that boosts me up. So that's the thing that you need to recognize for yourself, because a lot of people will spout off about self-care. Oh, go and do this, go and do that. And that's the stuff that makes them happy, and that's fine. Or that's the stuff that, the things that are in magazines or television adverts, that's the things that they suggest. But the secret to self-care is knowing what you need and doing it. So this is how you can actually find this out. I want you to recognize any time you catch yourself doing something that you like, whatever that is, whether it is, I don't know, going for a walk, or whether it is going for a run, whatever it might be. It might be art, it might be reading, it might be listening to music. So catch yourself when you're enjoying something. And then ask yourself, so consciously, conscious intention, ask yourself, is this energizing me or is it relaxing me? Is it soothing me or is it energizing? Okay, where does it fall on that scale? And then perhaps write them down. And actually in your workbooks, there's a whole table there that you can fill this in. And then when you need a little bit of a pick-me-up, you go to the appropriate column and do that thing. And what I mean by that is sometimes we do feel down or depressed or apathetic. So whilst I say I like being energized, that doesn't mean I need it every single time, because sometimes my body just goes, right, I just don't want to do that anymore. And I feel down and I feel bad about it. At that point, actually, for me, an energizer will get me back to balance. But then the other times, often after a Wednesday, because I've sort of done back-to-back webinars and tonight I've got a recording to do as well, I'm usually very hyped up. And even though I say I like energizers, I actually really need a relaxer. Otherwise, I'll get a little bit too kind of adrenaline pumping and chaotic almost. And that doesn't help me sleep. And that doesn't help me be refreshed for the next day. So usually after a Wednesday, I tend to do a lot of reading, and that calms me down. So recognize what it is you're doing. Know whether it's an energizer or whether it's a soother. Then be aware of what you need at any one time. And this is where the Spices Wheel comes back into it. And this Spices Challenge is by my very good friend Sharon Lawton. What she challenges you to do is to try one of every one of those categories a day for the next 6 days. And the way you can do it, you can do it randomly. You can actually just draw numbers out of a hat or roll a dice. So, for example, social. That might be volunteering somewhere. That might be going and joining a forum or something online. So something that is with other people. It might be hooking up with friends for a Zoom call or Zoom hangout or party or something like that. So that's social. You'll see that social is quite energizing. So that's the yang. So yes, of course, you will have both. You will have both. The secret is knowing which one you need at which time and then choosing appropriately. That's why I'm asking you to do this challenge, because this challenge has both as well. But if you are always somebody who thinks I must just have a warm bath or I must just have a massage, you might not have explored the other types of self-care. And so this is where this challenge comes in, because it's a really nice way of actually thinking, oh, does that work for me? Yes, it does, or no, it doesn't. Physical exercise, simple as that. That can be yourself or with another person. Intellectual, learning something. So social, physical, and intellectual, they're quite boosty up type ones. Creativity, that's often quite expressive and quite soothing. So that might be sculpture, it might be writing, it might be journaling, it might be planting something in the garden and expressing your creativity that way. So creativity. Spiritual, obviously meditation or yoga or breathing. And emotional, it tends to be the deeper connections. So social is seeing maybe lots of friends, but emotional is just those one or two that you're really comfortable with and who can you can just sit there in silence with, that kind of thing. So those are just simply some examples of both the yin and the yang. Try them out. Don't stick with just the one. You can. The only problem with sticking with just the one is you are just closing off your options. So it's fine. I'm not telling you have to do anything differently. But certainly for me, I prefer to have many options, because then I can pick and choose from a lot of different things as opposed to just that particular one.